You're just in time for yet another fascinating conversation that I'll be having with none other than Professor Kithaka Wamberia, the author of the much acclaimed Kifo, Kisimani. He has authored other books including Natala, Kifo, Kisimani, yes, Maua kwenye jua la asubuhi, among others. Kifo, Kisimani is here. This is a book. And also Death at the Well is an English version of this, if I'm not wrong, Prof.
Yes, it is.
It is, eh?
Yes.
But even before we get into the book, first of all, welcome to Good Morning Kenya.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for making time.
Okay.
Let's start with your authorial intent. Where did it come from?
Well, you mean for Kifo, Kisimani or for
all your books?
You know, when you ask me, that sounds like I've written only one book. I have written a total of 11 plays,
yes,
and 10 anthologies of poetry. Mm-hmm. Some of them will be published this year before the end of the year.
Yes.
But so far I have 13 books.
Yes.
6 plays and 7 anthologies of poetry. Mm-hmm. Now, inspiration is something that happens if you train yourself to see what is worth seeing, to hear what is worth hearing, and to ask questions, to ask why. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes we take things for granted. But a writer, a painter, a good painter, mm-hmm, a musician, mm-hmm, sees phenomena, and they learn to ask why. And when you ask why, then the answer or the answers that you get can lead you to writing a book, mm-hmm, to composing some music, yes, to painting, yes, to making some sculpture, etc., etc. So it's really the awareness of the environment. Mm-hmm. The awareness of the environment is what many times brings inspiration to a writer, yes, or to another artist.
Yes.
Yes.
Now let's get into the book. What inspired it? Because it's very vivid. It has very vivid dialogues.
Let me make it very plain that Kifo, Kisimani is not a new book.
Yes.
I wrote it about 37 years ago.
37 years ago.
As a matter of fact, the first staging of Kifo, Kisimani was, I think, in 1989 or 90 at Kosingaus. So the very, very first audience of Kifo, Kisimani was the girls at Kosingaus, yes, in 1989 or 90. And thereafter, Kifo, Kisimani was staged again in Mombasa. It was the students of the University of Nairobi that is still the book. Mm-hmm. And then the second time was at Alliance Française with a group which used to be very, very famous, mm-hmm, called the Theatre Workshop Productions. People like John Deritu, Obirazembo, Mweni Rund, etc., etc. And then I reworked it over the years, and finally I published it. It was published in 2001. Mm-hmm. So then when you ask me what inspired the book, I would say probably whatever was happening in the 80s. Mm-hmm. What came into contact with my senses in the 80s. And when I say what came to my contact, I'm not merely talking about Kenya. I mean, you know, within India, you see things that are far. I tell people that today, you can actually see what is happening in a bedroom in Bolivia, yes, in Saudi Arabia. Yes. I've just completed writing a play which I published. It's called Yenesta Kuzoka Saudi Arabia, about our daughters who go to the Arab world and they get killed. Mm-hmm. And by the time I wrote that book, I could make even food in Saudi Arabia, yeah, through the internet. Yes. Yes. Because the person I'm talking about is a house help, and therefore for the house. For the lady in the house, to be able to give instructions, I had to know exactly what is said that is cooked, how is it cooked, etc., etc. Mm-hmm. So then, going back to the latest, what was happening in my immediate environment and in other places, because I also travel. Besides being a teacher at the University of Nairobi, I have also traveled. As a matter of fact, I've been lucky to teach on 4 continents. Mm-hmm. Here in the US, in Europe, Asia. Yeah. So then, if you ask me what inspired me to write Kifo, Kisimani, I would say what has inspired me to write other books, mm-hmm, which is what I see, yes, what I hear, what I witness, mm-hmm, what makes me happy, what makes me unhappy, and the understanding, the knowledge that indeed a human being can impact, can assist in transforming society.
Recently, the book Kifo Kisimani,
yes.
We saw online
yes.
that some people are using the excerpts of the book to compare with what was happening within the country.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel, that your work was being used to like point out the issues that were bedeviling the country?
It just makes you feel like you communicated successfully, because a writer, a painter, a musician, you are communicating your thoughts. And if other people can see your thoughts and agree with those thoughts or find them useful, it feels nice. It feels nice. Yes. I mean, this is not only for Kifo Kisimani, but also for my other books. You have just read Natala, you mentioned Natala, you mentioned Maua Kwenye Jua la Asubuhi.
Yes.
Which had more than 100 shows in this country and Tanzania.
Wow.
At least 110. Maua Kwenye Jua la Asubuhi. So whether you're talking about Kifo Kisimani or it's Natala or it's Maua Kwenye Jua la Asubuhi, when your work seems to resonate with the people, then it confirms that indeed you communicated and communicated well. Yeah.
You know, one of the characters, the main character is Mwelusi.
Yes.
And his brother turns against him.
Yes.
So how does that portray families or family dynamics, especially in the African setting?
It's betrayal. It's betrayal. And the worst kind of betrayal, if you watch movies and drama, the worst kind of betrayal is betrayal by somebody you trust. The most painful betrayal would be a betrayal by your sister, by your mother, by your father, by your girlfriend, by your wife. That's the kind. I mean, if you want to a very intense sense of betrayal, let that betrayal come from somebody who is close to you. Because when you are betrayed by your enemy, I mean, that doesn't come as a surprise.
Yeah.
But when you are betrayed by somebody that you trust,
yes, somebody
that should be defending you,
it pinches harder.
Your brother.
Yes.
You know, it's more painful.
Yes.
And therefore, that's the idea. And this is nothing new. I mean, this is not about Kifo Kisimani. It's about human. It's about human beings. It's about nature, human nature. Wherever it is, whether you're in Kenya or you're in Peru or you're in France or you're in Saudi Arabia, the word betrayal is betrayal by somebody who should be close to you.
Yes.
Or who is close to you.
Yeah.
Yes.
You chose Butangi as a fictional setting of the book.
Yes.
Instead of a real place.
Yes.
Why is that?
Yes.
And
yes.
number two, how does that achieve the message of the play? How does it influence? How does that choice achieve the message of the play?
You know, you don't want to imprison a work of art.
Yes.
In a particular place or in a particular time. A good work of art, whether it's a play, it's a novel, it's a poem, should be written in such a way that it can potentially resonate with the people in different places, different times. And this is why then calling it, giving it a name, you are distancing it from somebody in Germany, somebody in Iran, etc., etc. But this is just Butangi, a fictional name, is much better. The same with the characters. You know, the reason why people, I mean, I would find it very difficult if I have a serious play to give it names like Wanjiku, yes. or Thiambo, yes. or Mlonzia. Because that has a potential of getting in conflict with the people. If I have somebody called Mutuma, in a novel, and Mutuma is a thief, a robber, then the Meros will say, what makes you think that we are more likely to become robbers than other people?
Yes.
If I have a toilet in Gaukonda at Thiambo, somebody will probably someday slap me in Kisumu. What makes you think that so the best thing is just get a name,
yes.
Which is not identified with the community,
yes.
or with a region,
yes.
Because you see that my names are not Christians. I mean, I might have a Christian name because I want to make a statement about Christians. For instance, in the play I've said it's called Yanasa Kotoko Saudi Arabia. You know, I'm not saying Saudi Arabia, I'm not saying Qatar, I'm not saying... but to show that this book is not against Islam,
yes.
One of the girls who come back to assist in the burial who accompanies, the Jeneza kutoka the Arab world, is actually a girl called Halima, to show that this book is not against Islam. I'm not saying all Muslims are bad. It's just that there are certain bad people in the Arab world that mistreat other people, and therefore this Halima is a very fine human being. So there, I chose the Muslim name, the Riba tree. To say I have nothing against Muslim countries, I have nothing against Muslims, but there are certain bad characters, and you can see it from Halima. It's a very fine human being, So then I wouldn't call the book Tanzania or Kenya. There's nothing Kenya. There's no Kenya in this book. There's no Tanzania. It's just Butangi and there's Mwelusi and the Bokono. So the bad guy, the villain, is not Mwangangi. It's not Chege. It's not.
Mention Chege. I have a friend called Chege, and I know he's watching.
The bad guy is not Lagat. Yes. It's not Makolo. Yes. It's just Bokono.
Yeah.
And the advisors, Zigu, and the Batu, etc., etc.
Yeah.
They are not Nyambane or the Mayan or anything like that.
There's aspect you've mentioned. Yeah. And I'm intrigued to know why art should be timeless, especially when it comes to plays that address social issues.
Because when you write a good book, I mean, you don't want to restrict it to a particular community. When a woman loses her son in Laikipia, the pain she goes through is the same pain that a woman will feel when they have lost their son in Athens, Greece.
Yes.
So the best way to write is then to say, how can you, utilize these common denominators about human beings, about human nature, so that the book then can make sense in one country, in another country, in several countries, at different times. When you read the Garment Inspector, I mean, probably you will not know that it was written 100 years ago, more than 100 years ago.
Yes.
When you read The Name of the People, when you see some of the finest paintings done 200 years ago, you feel like they touch you, probably the way they would have touched you if they were done today. So as a matter of principle, I write in such a way that somebody reading the book in another country will probably find it useful. One of the books that were mentioned is called Maua Kwenye Jua la Asubuhi. When I gave somebody from Cameroon the translation, he was so impressed because it's like the book is about Cameroon. Like the book is about Cameroon. Oh, no. So I do that in the liberty trade. I try to write in a manner that does not prison my work in terms of space. It's not confined just to Kenya or East Africa or Africa. Somebody can read it and see some sense in it in another continent and at other times.
Yes.
Again, somebody reading Maua Kwenye Jua la Asubuhi or Natala or Kifo Kisimani in the next 20 years, hopefully those books will still make sense to them.
Yes.
Yes.
In the book, it addresses so many things, and one of them, there's the psychology that there are people who think or do not really tell the king when he's naked.
Yes.
So how does that play out? How does that influence that psychology?
Well, I mean, you see it in the advisors of the advisors of the king. The advisor of the king would want to say to the king what the king would like to hear. I mean, when you look at the characters Zigu, Batu, you can see what they are saying is not in sync with what is happening in society.
Yes.
And this all happens all over the world. So the idea of people telling the king that you are very nicely dressed when he's naked, that has been noticed since time immemorial.
But then again, should that psychology be the same as, from the book they think that telling the king is naked should be met with brute force?
Say that again?
Should that psychology drive them to meet Those who tell the king is naked with brute force.
You know, sometimes you don't want to annoy the hand that feeds you. You know, many times advisors, sometimes advisors are advised. You know, the advisors to the king are advised by the king how they should advise the king. That's a tragedy.
Yes.
So that then raises the question is, what is the worth then of advisors? If the advisor want to tell the king what the king already knows, they will never want to tell him, many times, they will never want to tell him what he doesn't know and what he should know. Because the king is a source of bread, you know, is a source of livelihood. And I'm not talking about Kenya, I'm not talking about East Africa, I'm talking about human beings. Don't get me wrong. When I write, I don't confine myself to one tiny place. So that when I think about the king, or when I think about, for instance, dictators, you know, I wouldn't be conscious of what happened what happened in Cuba, what happened in Iran. You know, we know how the French Louis XIV, you know, was swept away from power. We know what happened in Russia in 1917. So when I write, I'm not just confining myself to a small village, Ronyenjes, or Tawakali, or our country. No, you know, I write in my mind, travel far and wide. And that's why the book then, one book written here, it was written well. I say to resonate well with somebody in Romania, resonate well with somebody in Qatar, on and on and on.
Yes. DJ, do you have any question to the good prof?
Yes, I do. First of all, I appreciate for Kisimani.
Okay.
And I'm happy to meet.
I'm so pleased to meet you. Thank you.
So what was the inspiration writing for Kisimani? Because the story is so diverse, so interactive. Like, I feel myself in that story. So, like, what was your inspiration to write that book?
Yeah, well, I'm glad that you feel you are part of the book, and I guess if somebody reads it in Angola or Cameroon, probably they wouldn't feel the way you are feeling. I'm saying it's just about being able to see phenomena, to see life, and trying to comment on that life without necessarily confining your commentary to just one particular country. I suspect that somebody in Cameroon would find Kisimani a very useful book. In fact, I've been told that some countries where Kisimani, you know, Kisimani was a set book here. Yes. I've been alerted that there are some countries, and I've been given names. I've been told this book cannot be a certain book in some of those countries. Wow. Because when they read Bokono, they will not be seeing Bokono the way you see Bokono. They will be seeing Bokono, you know, they will not seeing Batu. Yes. You see that, eh? Yes. So in Cameroon, Bokono will be somebody different. Yes. Mwelus will be somebody different, but having the same characters. So the inspiration then is really, I need to share my thoughts with other human beings. When people talk, when people exchange ideas, when people converse, if there are problems, they're likely to find solutions to those problems. But if you keep quiet about anything, even the family, if there's something you're unhappy with in the family or happy with, you share it with your children, you share it with your wife, you know, your sister, and hopefully, you know, you provide some kind of you contribute to the agenda of the discussion in the family, in the country, in a school, in a media house, you know, that Mr. MD, I mean, we are doing well, but you know what, I think if we do MCD, we could actually improve our performance in this media house. So the idea is to share thoughts with understanding that thoughts sometimes can be used to improve conditions. Yes. And I've told people before that one major difference between human beings and animals is that animals don't have the capacity to change their destiny.
Yes.
I normally give the example Masai Mara with the wildebeest. They have been eaten by crocodiles,
yes.
over the years, But a real human being, what's called a human being, is the one who will see that, we are suffering from malaria, there are many mosquitoes in this house, and then we say, oh, I think they're producing that a pool of water, and go and clear the water.
Yes.
You shout to say, why don't you clear this water?
Yes.
Why don't you clear this water?
Yeah.
And sure enough, if you can convince people, together to clear that water, you'll get rid of mosquitoes, and you will have better sleep.
Yes.
If people are drowning in a river, then you will tell villagers, why don't we find a way of constructing a bridge here? So you will have saved people. In other words, you will have made life better. And we should work with that confidence in life.
Yes.
That a single person can indeed bring about change.
Yes.
That a single person can bring about clearing of that water, and the process, you save the lives of several children.
Of course, Prof, there's a lot to talk about, but in the interest of time, are we likely to see this book now reimagined into on the screen?
Say that again?
Like a movie of some sort?
I don't know. I mean, see, life was really, I have written the book. It's not for me. I'm not a filmmaker. I'm not.
Yes.
Life is, you can't do everything.
Yes.
So what I've done is I've written the book. I'm not even the one who is putting on stage.
Have you directed any of the plays?
Yeah. No, not mine. Others. Okay. I've directed, for instance, Kido Chaki at the National Theatre.
But for this one?
No,
okay.
I wouldn't do it. That's other people do it. I'm not interested.
Yes.
I wouldn't.
Okay, Prof.
I would rather write another book and another book, and let other people. I have directed, but there are people who are much more competent in directing than Kitako Mberia.
Yes.
I'm not going to learn how to make films.
Yes.
There are already people who are trained to do that. Why don't I let them do it?
All right, let's conclude with this. I want you to look at that camera and give your message to Kenyans.
Sorry?
You give your message to Kenyans using this camera.
Well, my message is that we should share our thoughts with other human beings. I'm not saying this to Kenyans, I'm just saying this to human beings, wherever they are, because I might be a Tanzanian and Ugandan.
Yes.
So really, it's not good to keep quiet, because keeping quiet it's not good for society, it's not good for human groups, whether you're in the family, if there's something that works, say this thing works.
Yes.
If it doesn't work, say it doesn't work, and then make suggestions.
Okay.
And that's the best way to improve human organizations.
Yes.
Whether you're in a school, whether you're in you're in a company, or you're in a country, in a continent, it's good to express yourself, and hopefully your expression, your thoughts, might look useful, might prove to be useful to other human beings.
Yes.
And together, then you can solve issues.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Prof.
You're most welcome.
Yes. Tunashukuru sana kwa kutenga muda kuongea maneno kuhusu mambo kuhusu kifo Kisimani.
Kifo Kisimani.
Yes.
I thank you so much for inviting me.
Yes. That is Professor Kithaka Wamberia, who has joined here as on Good Morning Kenya, talking about Kifo Kisimani Reimagined, the art, the literature, and everything in between. This is where we end this conversation. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Mike Megwe. It's time for DJ to take it away. Cosmic.